everybody, welcome back to your flight Aura 011. Today our destination will be Emergency City. My name is Aura and I'll be taking care of you on this flight today, so please sit back, relax and enjoy the ride.
You can't do that, Shivam. I don't want that seat. I told her in the first go. If she couldn't find the solution, she should have just said that, yes, let's go to the flight.
This passenger attempted to open the cabin door mid-flight.
No, I want.
There's a lady here down that deck that tried to physically open the door.
She pulled down the door release lever as the flight cruised at 33,000 feet and a speed of 500 knots, triggering an alarm which alerted the crew, who swiftly stopped the woman with the aid of an off-duty policeman.
At that time, you know, this guy.
Yeah, because she shouted at me.
But you were helping
I'm
me.
just telling her that I just want to give
He
you
just
a
said, no, we can't do it. That's not the solution. Out of here.
It's alright, so we find
Yes, all right. What about Mara?
The Melbourne-bound plane was then turned around and landed back at Denpasar Airport in Bali.
We don't know why this was an event, but unfortunately the safest course of action was to come back here and to return to land.
The woman was allegedly arguing with the Jetstar staff about her seat before it escalated.
Sit down.
Sit down, man.
As a result, the passenger was removed from the aircraft and taken into custody by local authorities in Bali.
Crazy! That's insane! Like, I'm trying to wrap my head around what this lady must have been thinking. Like, what were you thinking? You are 33,000 feet above ground. You're traveling at tremendous speed. Actually, what were you thinking by trying to open the door? Okay, just to clarify, even if you do try to open a door mid-flight, it would not open. There are mechanisms in the door to keep it locked during flight. It needs to be below a certain altitude for the door to be able to open. So even if she tried to open it, which they clearly said she was lifting the door control handle, which would typically mean the door would swing open, it won't swing open because of the altitude that the plane is in. So technically she cannot actually open the door, which, by the way, reminds me, many years ago in one of my flights, we did take an airplane that this locking mechanism was not working on one particular door. When we're doing the flight briefing, the captains briefed us that this particular door, let's just, for example, say the R3 door, so that's the right hand side third door, the locking mechanism that would keep the door locked if somebody tried to open it in a higher altitude was not working. So they briefed us to be extra vigilant of who is around the door. In my 8 years of flying, that's the only one time that it has happened. But on a normal day, on a normal flight, on a normal plane, you would not be able to open a door mid-flight above a certain altitude. But I'm just trying to think now. Now this lady clearly doesn't know that. Or maybe she does know that. I don't know. Maybe she does know that you can't open the door and she's just trying to create panic. But I'm just thinking, imagine you don't know this fact that the door won't open. And you're trying to open this door 30,000 feet above the air. What were you thinking? Like, it baffles my mind. It baffles my mind. What were you thinking of doing? You'll casually open the door and then you'll just stand there? Or maybe you'll get an air taxi. Do we have air taxis? I don't think it's been invented yet. That you'll maybe just step out onto a cloud and float away. Maybe you thought you'll get a parachute and fly away. Do you have a parachute to fly away? I don't think so. What were you really thinking? Or are you just trying to create panic? Wow. So trying to open a door is clearly in the category of endangering the passengers, the crew, and the flight. You're jeopardizing everybody's safety. You're ruining everybody's journey. Why? Why? And from what I can gather is that she was fighting with another passenger about him, the other passenger, reclining his seat. Now we all know the reclining person has the right to recline the seat, and she was not happy. She was not happy, so she was fighting with him, then she was fighting with the crew, and then she went and tried to open a door. Ma'am, I still don't understand what you thought of achieving. That you'll get a jetpack and just fly away. I'm glad she was given to the authorities, and I hope she got blacklisted from the airline, because lady, you should not be flying. You should not be flying on aircraft. So I do have a leftover clip from what I recorded last time, and I'm gonna combine it here. Please don't mind.
A mid-flight power bank fire created a tense situation on board a Hong Kong Airlines flight today. Smoke filled the cabin after a fire broke out in an overhead bin, where a lithium-ion battery power bank appeared to have ignited inside a passenger's bag, entering a state of thermal runaway. Following their firefighting training, the cabin crew worked quickly, along with passengers, to manage the situation. They ensured everyone remained calm, while focusing on containing the fire by using bottles of water and juice to cool the burning device, preventing further escalation. Despite the intensity of the incident, their efforts paid off. The fire was extinguished, and the device was cooled before the flames could spread. The pilots made the decision to divert to Fuzhou, China, where the aircraft landed safely. No injuries were reported, and emergency responders were standing by upon arrival. The charred remains of the overhead bin serve as a stark reminder of the dangers posed by lithium-ion batteries in flight. Authorities are now investigating the incident. This potentially deadly situation highlights why flight attendants are on board, not just to serve drinks, but to save lives. Their primary role is safety, and their training prepares them to handle life-threatening situations at 30,000 feet, just like this one.
Yeah, so lithium battery fires are very common in this day and age in flights, and this incident is very, very recent. Well done to the crew for managing the situation properly. All our electronic devices nowadays have lithium batteries. Our phones, our laptops, our iPads, our tablets, our power banks. And power banks are actually one of the most common devices to catch on fire. And these lithium batteries tend to overheat sometimes. Sometimes they overheat when you're charging. That's why we always say, for takeoff and landing, please remove the devices from charging, because takeoff and landing, if a fire starts, we can't actually come to you and fight the fire because we are still strapped in our jump seat. That's why we say that, just in case you didn't know. Now, when it's an overhead bin, just like in this incident, the correct thing is to fight the fire while it's still in the bin. You can't really go taking it out. The correct procedure is to douse it with non-flammable liquids. So your juices, your soft drinks, your water, you douse it, the device, the backpack, whatever the thing that's containing that device, in non-flammable liquids until you know that it's kind of safe. But these lithium battery device fires can escalate really quickly. If you think that little power bank can't take a flight down, you're sorely mistaken. You're sorely mistaken. I think there's a photo of a plane. I can't remember. I'll just put it up here. Luckily, it was still on ground, still taxiing or still boarding or something. And there was a lithium battery fire, again on overhead stowage. And it burned the whole top part of the aircraft. So if you think that tiny little power bank or your phone can't really take a plane down, it kind of can. That's why the crew are trained for very swift action. Because you saw it in this video itself. That fire that started in one device, in one backpack, already had spread to like 2 overhead bins. 2 or 3, it can spread very fast to all the overhead bins. And next thing you know, the plane is burning down, and you really don't want that. Really, you don't want that. And that's what your flight attendants are there for. That's what we are trained for. We are trained for in-flight emergencies just like this, and lithium battery fires are so common. We are given a very thorough training on how to fight these fires. They're not just there to give you in-flight meals and your drinks. They're actually there for your safety. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you had fun. Please subscribe, and I'll see you later, okay? Bye-bye!